What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Wednesday, December 18th, 2018. Kevin did the softest move into it I've ever seen, which then totally put me on the soft level.
I felt like I was on NPR for a second
right?
there. It's such a gentle, soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I want to, I can turn that on, Gary, but I never want to. You know what I mean?
I'm liking it, though.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
I'll try to keep it for a little bit, but I can't.
Right.
You know, eventually it's going to end.
It's like
you
a
know
slow
what I mean?
jam
Eventually,
version of the show.
Eventually, I'm going to stumble off of this and go, "What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller, one of your hosts, and over here for Widow Wednesday, the rogue one, Gary Whitta."
Last Widow Wednesday of 2018.
It is. Thank you, Kevin. Big Gary Whitta fan over there. Big Gary Whitta
Now,
fan.
when does Kinda Funny kind of go dark for the holidays? When does that happen?
It's going to happen officially Friday when we close up shop.
So Friday
it's
will
just
be your
for
last
a week,
day.
and because even though we're coming, as you know, Housekeeping, we're stopping shows basically Monday. No live shows next week. There will be podcasts for Game Over Greggy and Gamescast. The next week, same thing up until the anniversary stream, January 4th. Our 4th anniversary is on January 4th. It's a Friday. We're streaming for 12 hours, doing the normal thing where we announce a bunch of changes, crazy things. We make you all excited. We get all excited. We tell you what our plan is for 2019. And then we get back to the rigmarole that 7th.
But you do have content queued up for people who are like over the holidays might be
craving,
craving Kinda Funny.
We're doing all the different GOGs and Gamescast, getting ready, seeding all that content. If you want to watch a Game Over Greggy show with Corey Barlog, director of God of War, today, this afternoon, 3:30, patreon.com/kindafunny. You can watch it live as we record it and have a good time.
I'm just thinking about, you know, for people over the holidays, if the relatives come to stay, and at some point
they got to escape.
You got to disappear into the downstairs bathroom or something with your podcast device of choice.
Yeah. Your iPad, your iPhone, you're in there.
And dial into some Kinda Funny to escape the nightmare.
I called out one Kevin Coelho over there for clapping so hard for Gary Whitta. And you know, it's Gary Whitta's final Widow Wednesday.
No!
I feel of the year, just of the year. Everybody, don't worry about that.
Just of the year.
I feel like
it's the end of the year.
You know, we want to spread that cheer. We want to spread that goodwill. Ray Briggs II writes into kindafunny.com/KFGD and says, "Hey, Gary and Greg, I don't really have a question, but on the last Widow Wednesday of the year, I wanted to write in and let Gary know how much my daughters, aged 13 and 9, have grown to love him this year.
Aww.
They listen to Kinda Funny Games Daily occasionally with me, but always on Widow Wednesday. When I told them he also wrote Rogue One and the recent Star Wars comics, it blew their minds. My daughter has an app on her phone that displays background pictures of things she loves, so every time she opens it, something positive is staring back at her. About a month ago, she added a pic of Gary, which I thought was sweet and a little creepy since she's 13.
Wow. Yeah, I have nothing, just so you know, I have nothing to do with that. I mean, I approve. It's very nice.
It's going to be like...
It's nice to know I can still appeal to the younger
something goes
demographic.
wrong, a cop finds that phone and looks through it, it's
Next
like,
thing you know, there's
My Little
knock,
Ponies,
knock at
Fortnite,
my
Gary
door at 4
Whitta.
in the morning, yeah.
Just writing in to spread the love and positivity at
That's
Xmas.
great. I love that. I'm glad
if you don't have time to
wrote
read
in.
this on the air, please let...
Thank you, Ray Briggs.
It's Jane and Elizabeth. Kevin, do you want to give Gary a 1 so he can leave a Christmas greeting for Jane and Elizabeth?
Yeah, but
Gary, just do it to the middle. Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Which one am I on? This one here?
Yeah, the one over here.
Okay. Hi, Jane. Hi, Elizabeth. Thanks for being a fan of me and Kinda Funny. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the new year.
I like how you got up to adjust the camera. You could tell that you were not going to make it in time, Kevin. There was no reason to get up and adjust the camera. You're a goofball. Now you're just in my camera.
Now he's got to fiddle with everything. He just can't help himself.
Oh, yeah, it's the worst. So many perfectionists.
I saw
around
a
here.
video that you retweeted of somebody having what looked like an almost religious experience.
Sure. Yeah.
When you gave him a shout out on the show.
It wasn't even on the show. That was after the fact. It was oh, dang it. Kevin, can you bring it up so I can get the names right? Andrew, the co-host of the podcast, knew that his co-host, the name I'm blanking on, I want to say Caleb. Caleb?
I think that might be right.
Caleb sounds right, but I don't trust myself. Yeah, he was a huge fan of me, I guess, and Kinda Funny. And so, yeah, Andrew wrote in asking if I could give him a Christmas shout out. So after a Kinda Funny Games deal, I just did it and we sent it over to him. And yeah, he flipped out.
He had it was almost like a spiritual experience. Here we are.
Yeah, see, when your name is CPZ23 Caleb, how am I supposed to remember that? You know what I mean?
But it is Caleb Pearson. There you go.
That's over on my Twitter, doing incredibly well. 269,000 views.
How does that make you feel?
Where are these people on the YouTube videos?
How does that make you feel when you see the kind of reaction you're able to solicit?
That's what the text about it is, right? Like it's It's awesome.
That's the best part of the job.
Yeah, but people never get it right. Every meet and greet, you know what I mean? People thank me for being there for them when not understanding that they're there for me.
It's the other
you know
way
what
around,
I mean?
yeah.
Exactly. There's a million. You can listen to anybody talk about this. Everybody's got a podcast. You've
Well,
got 4
it's both,
podcasts
isn't it?
out your
You
house.
are there for them and they're there for you. It's it's an Ouroboros of love.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's this weird symbiotic relationship,
Yeah,
right?
I like
Who
it.
is Peter Parker, though, and who is the symbiote? Nobody knows. We're not sure.
That's right.
You know, who's living off
where
of
do
who?
the best friends begin and kind of funny end? We
We're
just
all
don't
one
know.
thing.
What are
You know what I mean?
talking about, Greg?
We're talking about the community.
I don't know. It's love, Kevin.
It's love,
it's
Kevin. It's
it's
all
Christmas
love.
time.
Why do you hate love at
Stop
Christmas
raining on
time?
our Christmas parade.
Exactly. Yeah, Grinch.
We're trying to spread some love here.
Exactly.
No one loves Christmas more than me. That's a fact.
Is that right?
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
love
He does actually really love Christmas. If you want an experience, Gary Wood, next year when you go out for your Christmas tree, bring Kevin Coelho. Because he's got a truck and he'll help you, but he'll be in his Christmas sweater. But more importantly, he will, as you walk up on trees, and you're like, oh, that's a pretty one. He'll be like, oh yeah, that's a fir. That's this thing. It does this.
Oh, he's the expert.
Oh my god, he knows all based on the pine needles and the way they're sticking up or down or whatever they are. He just knows everything about these trees.
Oh wow, I had no idea that.
Then he'll haggle for the price for you
such
too.
A Christmas fan.
He's a Christmas aficionado. Maybe
right.
he'll make you a snowball. I digress. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday on a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about. If you like that, be part of the show, kindafunny.com/KFGD, with your questions, comments, concerns, bad PSN names for a little while longer, and everything else under the video game sun. Everybody hold on. We're doing a full stop. The train's rocking. What was that, Kev? You put your hand up.
Just to be clear, the Snowball is my favorite holiday drink, not something from a Kevin Smith.
I mean, hey, you named it that way. What do you want me to do?
I didn't name it.
You knew what it
That's
was.
the way
You knew what it
named.
was. You
That's
knew what
the
it
na-
was.
That's the way it was
You knew what it
named.
was.
Just to be clear.
Can I get back to the show?
I remember when I remember when IGN
Oh, it was snowball.com.
first started. Yeah, it was snowball.com. You remember that?
It was part of the snowball.com
And I remember
thing, yeah.
I remember being in the room when they announced it, and because I go way back to the days of Imagine Media and IGN. Is,
Oh, yeah.
Most people don't rember IGN originally stood for Imagine Games
Network, yeah.
Now
N64.com.
Right now, it doesn't really stand for anything in
Nothing.
particular. Just sounds good.
Yeah.
But the overall company was announced, and the company will be called Snowball.com. And I remember a bunch of people going around like, do they know what a snowball is?
Yeah.
Because they might not know. In
The-
the world of the internet, they will find out very soon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The old timers, the founders of IGN would always,
Yeah.
when this would come up, because I was still there when snowball.com was kind of a thing. It was right
Right.
after they had been bought by Fox, so that was all being phased out and all that stuff. But there was one clueless email that got sent around, because you know how like companies will get like discounts on things, right? And do all this
Yeah.
different stuff. There was one, they swear this is real. I never saw the email myself because it was like, from 2000, maybe 1998. But there was an email sent around the company at snowball.com that was a deal to get jewelry for the holidays that you could get. And it literally said, give your mom a pearl necklace from snowball.com.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a twofer.
That's a twofer. And like
Two for
that
the
was the thing.
price
It's
of
like
one.
all the kids, the 20-year-old guys who were there and opened up are like, have they never, what?
Wow, that's amazing.
Shout out to that guy watching with his 2 daughters. And you can be part of the show, as I already said. You can watch us record it live, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. A lot of questions they're going to be asking after
My
this one.
goodness. It's a family show.
If you're watching live, you have a special job. Go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames and listening on podcast services around the globe. Housekeeping for you. WingStop has for some reason decided that I am a good spokesperson for chicken wings. And on Friday, we're doing a Smash Brothers WingStop sponsored stream on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. Right after Kinda Funny Games Daily, we will be eating wings and playing Smash Brothers.
What a perfect combo.
Are you kidding me?
The only thing I'd be worried about there is getting the controllers, getting all the
I'm going to have
the
a lot of
chicken
napkins
sauce.
and like wet naps. I might have Kevin bring me a bowl.
Yeah.
If I can
Like a
wash my
finger
hands.
bowl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be all over it. Don't you worry about
Wet
it.
Right, yeah.
rag would be a good idea.
A wet rag?
I'm glad you flagged that.
Oh, don't
early
worry.
on.
Come on
Yeah.
now. I'm Gary.
No, you're a pro.
Oh, wait, no, you're Gary.
I'm
Greg.
Gary. You're Greg. All right, you might not be so on the ball in terms of
The wheels are
who
off.
you are.
Let's get to the holidays.
Your actual identity, but when it comes to chicken wings and Smash Bros,
I got no problem. That's the thing is it's like, where you have to move the power sources around. You know what I mean? I'm giving all power right now to the tongue and the glands, and I'm mouth watering. That's where all the blood's going in my body. So the brain and the thought process, that's not there.
I'm hearing you. Hey, I heard someone on YouTube call it Smash Bros the other day. Is that an acceptable form?
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah, big
It's
time.
Smash. Which is more correct, Smash Bros or Smash Brothers?
Well, I mean, when you see do you call them Super Mario Bros?
No, I call it Super Mario Brothers.
There you go.
Okay, that's the answer I needed.
Exactly.
All right, you got
Yeah.
it right.
Smash Bros. is
But Smash Bros.
It's acceptable, but I don't think it's the
acceptable
official.
to say Smash Bros.
Is
They
that
say
what it
Super
says
Smash
on
Brothers.
the box? What does it say on the
Well,
box?
it's spelled that way, but how do you pronounce that when you see that? How do you know?
Bros.
No, you don't.
You don't
I
say
do.
Warner Bros.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
no,
you
he
do.
doesn't say that either. He
say
does say
Warner Bros.
McDonald's, which is weird.
It's because
There's no
it's
shows
coming
next
to
week. We already
America.
talked about that. We'll be back on January 4th. Today we're brought to you by Loot Crate, but I'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 3 items on the Roper Report.
Oh, Baker's dozen.
Number 1, the November NPD is here, of course, tracking how video games sold throughout the month. I'm going to read from gamesindustry.biz, where Rebecca Valentine filed the following report. Black Friday weekend and its surrounding month in the United States proved an excellent time for hardware sales, as usual in the United States, according to this month's NPD report, though software sales were lagging due to a release date shuffle in the year's biggest title. Overall, gaming sales for November were flat year over year at $2.7 billion, with software sales declines offsetting increases elsewhere. Year to date, spending was up 16% to $13.2 billion. In hardware, November 2018 was a historical month. For the first time ever, 3 console platforms sold over 1 million units. The Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One all sold over 1.3 million units.
I hate to I twitched for a moment there. I hate to cut in.
Yeah.
But every month that has already happened is a historical month. I think what she means is a historic month. Historical just means that shit happened in the past. Historic means it's of historic importance.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually very interesting.
There's your distinction.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Okay. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You know, so I'm
We educate.
I'm doing some live, in theater, you're wrongs as we go here, because somebody would probably flag that if I did.
Nobody would have.
Maybe
Now somebody's going to act like they were going to, but they wouldn't have done that. There's no way they would have done that. Nobody ever corrects the grammar of the writer. They just yell at me for how I read it.
All right.
You know what
I'm
I mean?
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your flow there, but the historical
Dude, this is a
thing
conversational
gets me.
podcast. We're having a good time.
It
Don't
gets
worry
me.
about it. Back to the Rebecca's report. Overall, hardware spending was up 3% year over year to $3.9 billion, with the Nintendo Switch's sales growth helping offset declines on other platforms. The Switch led hardware sales this past month, but the PlayStation 4 remains at the top in year-to-date sales. Accessory and game card spending was up 35% year over year to $503 million, an all-time high. Finally, software dollar sales were down last month by 15% year over year due to Call of Duty's moved release date from November to October. Year-to-date sales were in excess of $5.8 billion, making this the highest comparable year-to-date total in software since this time in 2011. Here are the top 10 selling games, physical and digital, for November 2018. It's worth pointing out that some of these don't include PC sales, and some of them don't include digital sales because people don't report. I'll try to give you I will give you. I'm not going to try. It's not that hard. I'll tell you as we go. Number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. That doesn't include PC. Number 3, Battlefield 5. That doesn't include PC. Number 4, Fallout 76. And that doesn't include downloads because Bethesda doesn't report them. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu gets number 5 and doesn't include digital sales. Number 6 is Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, doesn't include digital sales. Number 7, NBA 2K19. Number 8, Madden NFL 19, no PC stuff included. Number 9, Spyro Reignited Trilogy. And number 10, FIFA 19, no PC included. Rebecca gives a bit of context to that. Now, with over a month at retail, Red Dead Redemption 2 has secured the position of the second best-selling game year-to-date, behind Call of Duty and the best-selling game of November. Its sales outstrip those of its predecessor by almost 40%. Call of Duty Black Ops 4, meanwhile, is the second fastest-selling game on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in history, only behind Call of Duty World War II. Lot to unpack there, Gary, but
There's
what
a lot
stands
to
out to you?
unpack. A couple of things that sprung to mind as you were reading it. First of all, that stat about, for the first time ever, all 3 major consoles sold over a million. That's impressive, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Remember when we thought consoles might be dead?
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk that, consoles, this is going to be last console generation, they move to unified platform, maybe it'll all go to PC. And that's when a lot of gamers were saying, if it all goes to PC, we just won't play anymore. And people really listened, and now consoles are doing well.
They're doing well for sure, and that is a good stat. The other thing that I've talking about things that you thought were dead and are in fact not. I've got to admit that I was wrong about this. For a long, long time, I've been talking about Call of Duty fatigue.
Sure.
And putting a game out every year, and when would we start to see diminishing returns?
When will enough be enough?
When will the Call of Duty fan base finally decide that, I'm over it, or migrate to something else? You know, especially in an age where, you know, PUBG and Battlefield, and there's a lot of other.
Fortnite's free to play, right?
Yeah, Fortnite, of course. There's you got a lot of other options out there. If you'd have asked me to predict where Call of Duty would be by now 5 years ago, especially in the knowledge of knowing that PUBG and Fortnite and Battlefield and all these other things would be out there, I'd say, you know what, Call of Duty would have had its day. But I'm completely wrong, because look at this, the two fastest selling games of all time
on PlayStation 4 and Xbox
4 and Xbox One in history are the last two Call of Duty games.
Yeah.
So what do I know?
Nothing.
Call of Duty's bigger than ever.
Yeah. It continues to go. And that's the thing, is I think we were always waiting for a precipitous drop with Call of Duty, right? Because every year it was it's the biggest entertainment launch. It gets crazy. And I remember being at IGN being like, what is going to be the one that underperforms? And it came.
That was Infinite Warfare, right?
Oof, I don't know if that was the first. I'm not prepared to say that. Kindoffunny.com/you're
Infinite
wrong.
Warfare was the first one that I remember looking at going, this is it, the tide's turning, because the fans are not happy with it.
Yeah.
It's gone off into weird space Halo territory. This is not what
it was the
people
most
signed up for.
downvoted YouTube video at one point,
But then they brought it right back down to earth.
Well, that's the thing, is I feel like even with the there was never a drop that just marked the decline of Call of Duty. Things will go up and peak and come a little bit down, but then there's always going to be another peak coming back up.
I mean, did you imagine that Call of Duty would be this strong after this much time, that it'd still be going strong?
No, I thought it would have dripped off by now. I would have, if you would have asked me, no paperwork in front of me or anything like that, like, do you think Call of Duty is going to be, you know, the best-selling game of the year or be doing all these things? I'm like, oh god, no. But then it is the thing of it's multi-platform, it's everywhere, it's this, it's that. But no, you're 100% right that I think we all were waiting for the other shoe to drop, and still to some regard are, right? Like, anything that's incredibly successful has to take a dip and come down at some point.
And I was wrong even, I think I addressed this on a previous show recently. I was even wrong just within the confines of Black Ops 4. I remember saying that them dropping the single player was a mistake. It's a mistake for me. They didn't get my business this year because I like single player.
But they brought so many people in, right, for that Battle Royale.
Battle Royale is what made the difference.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's fascinating. I think it's all really crazy to see. I mean, last month, Red Dead, we're like, oh, well, it only had a few days. It didn't do as much as it could have done. To see it at number one and see it up 40% compared to Red Dead, or not even the original, Rockstar's first Red Dead Redemption. That's awesome. Number 4, Fallout 76.
Selling well despite all of the brouhaha.
Yeah, and you assume there's a lot to that number, right, to unpack. Of course, I mean, people who jumped out and were ready to buy it regardless, right? Because, Kevin, I'm going to need a Google for, what was Fallout 76's release date? You figure that it's you've already pre-ordered it, you want to get in, you want to see what it's about. You figure then there were drastic price cuts pretty much immediately following. A lot of sales at Black Friday, a lot of stuff going into that and coming out of Cyber Monday.
So is it your theory that
November 15th?
There you go. So right in the
14th,
middle of the month.
Thank you.
So they had 2 weeks to get on the charts.
Yeah.
Is it your theory then? Is what you're saying that a lot of these sales that we see here that put it at number 4 in November?
I think it's a mixture. I think there was
kind of anticipatory purchases.
I would think
like
that there was a lot of
backlash?
pre-orders and a lot of interest. Oh, it's Fallout. I mean, I love Fallout games and I want to get in on a Fallout game. I think that might have been how it worked. Yeah, that you jumped in that way.
But the backlash started almost immediately, didn't it?
Oh, as soon as it got out there, yeah. Well, it's because it was a weird one. It was flying under the radar. You know what I mean? I remember doing that Best Buy Twitter party where I was doing it basically like, why are you excited about this? Like, I like other Fallouts. Why would I be excited about this one? And talking to people who'd done the beta, it was a small group, but they were like, oh man, there's a lot of cool stuff here. Like, oh, okay, cool. And I went in with those expectations.
Right.
And then everybody else came in and it's an empty
and you
world.
enjoyed it the time you were playing it, right?
I mean, over break, I anticipate getting back to it. I want to get Grimecraft on board to walk me through stuff and bring me back up to speed. But then I started the Division last night. I got Shields to go get there. I don't know what the fuck's happening in the Division.
So many games and only one Greggy.
It's true. It's true. I want to jump in here. We got a bunch of kindoffunny.com/you're wrong corrections here.
Already?
Yeah, they're joking around.
I wonder if I'm getting corrected on my grammar.
We asked about like what is the first, where are we underperforming Call of Duty, right?
Yeah.
A couple people are saying Ghost. Albino Yeti says Call of Duty Ghost was the first game since Call of Duty 4 to underperform compared to the previous year's Call of Duty game, which at the time was Black Ops 2. There you go. Yeah, and there's a couple other people confirming that. But again, that's what I'm talking about. You come down, but it's not like we kept going. We come back up, right?
Right.
Ebbs and flows. That's how it works. And then, hey, shout out to Spyro. Reignited Trilogy being there.
I wouldn't have thought that that Spyro was that big a deal.
I talked a lot of shit leading up to this, right? Of like, well, you know, it's not Crash Bandicoot, it's not this, it's not that, but clearly there is
It's
an
an
audience
easy
that's
game
super
to
excited.
make fun of, but you know what? It's targeted at kids. Let's not forget that kids play games too, not just overgrown kids like us, but like actual kids.
And there's that, and there is so much nostalgia for that audience, right? I saw Jonathan Dornbush get the platinum the other night on Twitter, so there's a lot of people out there for it. Play what you got to play. Number 2, this is more of a, hey, heads up for tomorrow. For Honor is teasing some kind of Assassin's Creed thing. They put out a tweet that says, nothing is true, everything is permitted. And then it's a video that has like janky kind of Animus kind of stuff happening, and it does the Abstergo logo, and then it says full reveal December 20th, which is tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern. That'll be well before Kind of Funny Games Daily, so I'll have whatever that is, a report for you.
What do you think that's going to be? Take a guess.
I'm not invested enough in For Honor to really know and give you a good thing. I think it could be that, hey, and I don't even know this. Hey, we're maybe they've already hinted at this. We're in the Assassin's Creed universe. This is the Animus you're already using. You know, you've been going in and playing as these different factions and stuff like that. Maybe it is that they're just adding in a faction that is the Assassins, is the Templars.
That's my guess. That's my theory. Yeah.
You think it'll be like?
I mean, I'm the same as you. I'm not heavily invested into For Honor. I only really have started to learn about Assassin's Creed in the past, a few months as my wife's getting.
What's our game clock at now? 130 hours, 150 hours?
I know she's got 150 plus at least in Odyssey, and probably approaching something like that in Origins.
Oh, she went back.
She went back to Origins. Well, she's been skipping back and forth. She did all the Odyssey stuff.
Yeah.
Waiting for the DLC to come out.
Yeah, episode 2
started playing Origins. And then she got a ton of time into Origins, and then the Assassin's Creed, the first DLC dropped.
Right.
She went back to Odyssey, and so she's been bouncing back and forth between the two games.
Gotcha. You're getting it all through osmosis.
Yeah, I've been enjoying. It's a fun game to watch someone play.
Yeah.
They're fun games.
Yeah, Jen watched me play a lot of Odyssey.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that is and tell you about it tomorrow. And then number 3 on the rope report, 343 is doing a collaboration with Limbless. This is from 343's website and blog. One of our core missions here at the studio is to inspire heroes and deliver wonder. Normally, this is most often and understandably applied to the nature of making games. Indeed, creating new worlds to explore, new mysteries to solve, and heroes through which to experience it all is always an amazing and a rewarding endeavor. There are, however, times where opportunities to inspire heroes and deliver wonder present themselves outside the scope of game code, cutscene scripts, or sandbox balancing. Today, we're excited to talk a little bit about one such opportunity, as 343 Industries is proud to announce the collaboration with Limitless. Oh, so hold on, I'm doing. So it's how would you pronounce this? Limbitless Solutions. I called it Limbless Collaboration up here, but it's actually it's a play on words, I guess. Limbitless Solutions to provide new Halo-themed 3D printed prosthetics to be made available to young heroes who, like the Master Chief himself, also routinely and triumphantly beat the odds.
You know what I think it is, Greg? I think you don't pronounce the B. I think you
it's
say
limitless.
I think you say it like limitless, but then you realize it's lim as in
that's what it's obviously a play on
but I don't
words.
think you say limbitless.
So we're saying limitless,
but with
Limbitless is how it's spelled. If you want to find it that way, but now we're gonna start saying limitless, and I guarantee it's gonna be a huge trick for Greg's mind this entire time. Limitless Solutions is a non-profit organization that creates an affordable option for prosthetic limb devices for children. Using rapid prototyping technologies, 3D printing specifically, prosthetic arms are fully functional and capable of gripping objects, and various gestures are created and fitted to children at a fraction of the cost compared to other prosthetics on the market. The incredible and dedicated team over at Limitless began in 2014 as a group of University of Central Florida students who wanted to help a family whose son was born without most of his right arm, and since Limitless has grown to a full-time operation based at UCFS in Orlando, Florida. The Limitless bionic arm prosthetics are all at once functional, cost-effective, and expressive. And, perhaps best of all, Limitless donates their innovative prosthetic arms completely free of charge to recipients and their families. Limitless is devoted to building a generation of innovators who use their skills and passion to improve the world around them. To learn more about their program and to see and hear inspiring stories of affiliated families, please make sure to visit limitless-solutions.org. With all that firmly in mind, we're incredibly honored to have the opportunity to collaborate with Limitless Solutions to offer a unique bit of Halo flavor in our shared goal of inspiring heroes. Beginning in 2019, Limitless will add 2 special Halo-themed options to their already amazing lineup of designs for their 3D printed bionic arms. First up is a fantastic recreation of the Master Chief's own legendary Mark VI armor, designed to help turn any eager recipient into an awesomely augmented galaxy-saving superhero. In addition, Limitless will also offer a multiplayer variant of the Mjolnir-inspired and personalized prosthetic, allowing a wide range of creative color customization to create a Spartan style as unique and heroic as the recipients themselves.
I like it.
It's awesome.
What's not to like?
No, it's amazing. And I'm happy to see more people get on board with this. I had done a panel at Comic-Con 3 years ago, maybe, with Square Enix, and it was the Deus Ex team, and they were doing this with Open Biotics, a team in the UK that was doing the exact same thing of we're 3D printing prosthetic arms, we're sharing I hosted the panel there, and I don't know if it was there or another panel, because I think I did another panel with them, maybe at VidCon or something, but it's something absurd. Like, they're just giving away the plans to anybody who wants to go 3D print them. You know, if you were to go through the avenues, it was some, $20,000, $50,000. But the way they were doing it and getting it to people was like a few $100s.
Yeah.
Like, they were getting it that way. And so they had done this Deus Ex one for Tilly, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen videos of her on the internet. She's been all over the place showing what this arm can do, showing what Open Biotics is all about. So it's awesome, and that's over in the UK. And I know there was some kind of friction with the FDA or something about getting that to America and being allowed for them to work in America or something to that effect. I'm speaking out of turn here, but so it's awesome to see that there is Limitless Solutions here doing
the thing that I love about it is, especially for kids, obviously if a kid is missing a limb, we have the technology now to give them a prosthetic, which is amazing. But other kids can be mean, and kids can be self-conscious about having a prosthetic.
Sure.
So why not make it look awesome?
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
right?
totally. Make it look cool.
So it goes from like, haha, you have a prosthetic, which again, some kids are totally capable of being mean about. So
of
like,
course.
Holy shit, you have Master Chief's arm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Actually pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
I wish I had one of those.
And that was the hope from the Tilly stuff with Open Biotics, was getting this technology out there, getting it, using what were already available with 3D printing, and getting it to the point that it isn't just this beige or black or white thing, right? That it can be that they open a closet and there's a row of them that they can mix and match and do whatever they want with when they're going out into this, and grow with them. Because that's the other problem too, obviously, when you're talking about a child, better than most. These kids grow so fast that they grow out of the arm so quickly that it is this thing of, well, if you're going to make the prosthetic limb for them, it's only going to be good for a year or a little bit more, and then you're going to get to the point where it doesn't fit. It's going to be another few $1,000s. It's going to be all these problems. And so, to see 3D printing and, all the goofy stuff we do come in and infuse with this,
and make it more cost effective. Yeah. And they in the tweet that I saw where they announced this today, I think it was 343 or someone at Microsoft that retweeted it. The picture they showed of the arm looked awesome.
Yeah.
It took me a second to realize, oh shit, that's not actually just a picture of Halo armor. That's the actual arm that they're talking about, deploying, and it looked great.
Yeah. Very cool.
Very cool.
Excited to see the prices continue to come down, and people will be able to get their hands on these easily until you have a closet full of things. But Gary, that's still so far away. If I wanted something that was happening today, say what came to the mom and grop digital shops, where would I go?
The official list of upcoming software across each and every platform, as listed by the Kind of Funny Games Daily Show hosts each and every weekday. Yeah. Out today, Skater XL launches on Steam in early access. Road Redemption comes to Xbox One. PUBG's new Vikendi map and its Survivor Pass are available on PC. R-Type Dimensions EX is available on PlayStation 4, meaning Gary has to finally buy it on something. Because every time it comes up, you get excited about it. I went looking for it on the Switch store the other day. I couldn't find it. I may have to do another search.
Atari Flashback Classics comes to the PlayStation Vita. Everyone should be very excited. They even used Vita Island in their press release, which is dope. Hellfront Honeymoon comes to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Raised comes to PlayStation 4. And then VR Apocalypse comes to PlayStation VR.
What's VR Apocalypse?
I have no earthly idea. Kevin, can I get a search? VR Apocalypse, PlayStation VR. I like that it bookends with VR. but I don't know what the hell it is. While Kevin looks for that, I'm going to give you a deal of the day. This one comes from Pressurizer in Waco, Texas. He or she writes in and says, today only, Amazon is discounting Grand Theft Auto 5 by $15, bringing the price down to $15.99. Or I'm sorry, $14.99. That deal applies to both the physical and digital versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 on Xbox One and only the physical version on PlayStation 4. Twitch Prime members, though, can get the full price of the game refunded by Amazon via an email credit. Amazon is throwing in a $15 credit that can be used on anything sold by Amazon. A code will be sent to your inbox after your order ships.
So you can get GTA 5 for free, essentially.
It sounds like what's happening, right?
It's a good deal because GTA 5 is rarely discounted.
Yeah.
It's rare to find because people keep buying it.
Of course.
So they don't need to discount.
Why would they discount? Yeah, yeah. And more importantly, I mean, this Twitch Prime seems like a great idea to save some money. If you didn't know, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime. And what that means is you log, and I'm talking to you, audio listener, right now. You're driving your van, you're delivering some packages, you're just thinking about you're listening to games. When you get home today, log into your Amazon Prime, then go Google Twitch Prime. And what'll happen is it'll pop you in there, you'll be logged in, you either link your Twitch account or make a Twitch account, you get a $5 free subscription, give it to Kinda Funny Games. You have to do it every 30 days. It's a bonus they give you and think you'll never use, and they laugh at you when you don't spend the money. Kevin is now showing us VR Apocalypse. You want to toss it up, Kev?
It looks bad. And this video is 2 years old. I don't think this is even necessarily the same thing.
Well, I'm not positive this is the same thing, but
as Greg Miller will tell you, I bet it is the same thing.
Yeah,
I bet it is that this is something they put out on Vive or whatever. Can you go back? Let me see a little bit more. They put out on Vive or whatever, and now it's coming to PlayStation VR.
Oh, that's what it is. So maybe it is the same thing.
You're just walking. So it looks like you're walking around the apocalypse, and they got some purple guys. You got some stuff going on.
You know what I'm much more interested in is Road Redemption, because every time I talk about how I wish Road Rash would come back, people say to me, "Oh, you should check out Road Redemption because that's basically what that is."
We played it here. We have it on the PlayStation 4 in there.
Is it good?
What's your definition of good?
I mean, will I enjoy it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I need. Hey, we're in the indie studio that made our version of Road Rash.
Right.
And like the load times
it's on
suck.
Xbox One now, so maybe I'll take a look.
The graphics aren't great, the load times aren't great, but when you're playing, it's like, no, this is Road Rash. All right, I'm kicking, I'm swinging, I'm doing stuff.
Well, hopefully it inspires EA to actually make a real Road Rash.
And Skate. Make another Skate 2 while you're there. And now Kingdoms of Amalur is with THQ Nordic, who we'll get to in a second. But more importantly, make sure you give them the rights to put out an HD collection, or, the HD. I'll be quiet now. It's time for Reader Mail, but first I'll tell you it's brought to you by our sponsor, Loot Gaming. Did you know Loot Crate? Well, then maybe you haven't heard about Loot Gaming, but let me tell you, it's a crate sent to your doorstep with all your gaming goodies in. It's a monthly subscription box delivered to you with exclusive pop culture collectibles, apparel, and gear, like my Foxhound pint glass that Nick used to steal from me all the time, but now Nick's gone. I've taken care of him. So
Nick's already gone for the holidays, isn't he?
Yeah, that's why I was making it sound more
so you can
nefarious.
Drink with impunity. Nice.
That was for you, guy in the van. Loot Gaming. I already talked about the guy in the van delivering the packages. Loot Gaming's awesome. We like it. Cool Greg, when he gets it delivered here, gets all of the pins out of it. I get the cups. Kevin takes a t-shirt here and there. There's a bunch of cool stuff inside it. This month's theme is Off-World. Take on alien invaders with gear from Halo, Gears of War, Mass Effect, and Galaga. Loot Gaming is a curated collection of exclusive one-of-a-kind items from the best video game franchises ever. You are guaranteed a t-shirt in every crate, plus $60 of value for less than $29 a month. This crate will sell out, so you must order by the end of this week to guarantee yours. And yes, I can speak from experience, they make great gifts. I gave Cool Greg a gift of Loot Crate. He likes it very much and gets very excited. And when it comes, he goes, it's lit. And then he takes little Instagram photos.
Dude, that was good. That's one of the better impersonations I've seen you do.
Thank you. I've been working on it. Get the best surprises each month from the largest geek and gaming subscription company. Geek out in style with Loot Crate. Subscribe now by going to lootcrate.com/games and enter my code GAMES to save an exclusive 30% off your subscription. That's lootcrate.com/games. Enter my code GAMES to save an exclusive 30% off your subscription. Now it's one of those. I build a show not knowing what the tenor will be when we get here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know we're gonna have a great show, but it's one of those. Where do we want to jump in? We're gonna go to ItsMeJonB.
Okay.
He's got a Spider-Man question. PS4. No spoilers. Everybody, calm down. What's up, Greg and Gary? I love video games and finishing the main stories, but I rarely find time to do many side quests or DLC. I had so much fun with Spider-Man on PlayStation 4, even just doing the main quest mostly, and was wondering if the DLC continues any kind of story beats from the main story, or is it some kind of one-off content that may not be referenced in a future sequel if it were to come out. Does the DLC talk about the stuff we saw in the post-credit scenes? Thanks for everything you do. I hope you have a fun and relaxing holiday break coming up, and I can't wait to see what's coming in 2019 for Kind of Funny. What's your experience? Have you guys gone and started doing the DLC?
No, we haven't
City That
done it
Never
yet.
Sleeps?
It's strange because, as I've said, Spider-Man's my favorite game. I'm not even going to say like my game of the year because then we'll be like, oh, it wasn't the best. Like, it's not about what's the best and what
Sure.
isn't the best. My personal favorite game of the year was Spider-Man on PS4. That's the game that gave me the most joy. And strangely, and my favorite movie of the year is Spider-Verse. Oh my God, so good.
Yeah.
So I need to get back into it. What happened was we played a lot of Spider-Man, got very excited about it, and then Red Dead and Smash
So many
and
games.
Assassin's Creed and everything else came
Yeah.
out and kind of got in the way. So what I need to do now is just take the plunge, buy the DLC, because I think is it two of the three pieces are already out?
Well, the third one drops on Friday. So
okay, so the third one drops on Friday.
Yeah.
So I think what I might do is on Friday
Buy it and
get the
binge.
new DLC and play it all, because it was my favorite game, and it was one of those things where I went around, and I don't usually do this, I'm not a completionist, but I went around and got every goddamn backpack. I did every, I played eventually with my wife helped me with some of the more difficult challenges because the game is brutally hard in places, but I managed to platinum the game.
Hell yeah.
With an assist, put a little asterisk on it because there was an assist.
Oh, no, don't worry about that.
But the only game I've ever platinumed, that's how much I liked it.
Wow.
And yeah, I'm actually very keen to get back to the DLC. Unfortunately, the problem is I can't answer the question because I don't know what it does.
I got the question
Well,
answered. Don't worry about
my
that.
guess is, let me take a guess here.
Okay,
My guess
take a
is the
gander.
stuff that they showed in the post credits, that to me is hinting more at Spider-Man 2 than it is stuff in the DLC. I mean, you tell me. Am I right?
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
So for John B. and for you, Gary Whitta, the stuff is referenced.
Okay.
So there, what I like about the DLC is it's very much this is after the game. We finished the game. We're picking up those narrative threads. So there are conversations that happen that reference what happened in post-credit scenes.
Okay.
I don't think they're. I haven't played the third one, obviously. I don't think there are major story beats in there that you're going to pick up Spider-Man 2 and be like, what the hell? Blah, blah, blah. Now, that hasn't happened.
I mean,
it's just fun nods.
can we venture into
No.
spoiler territory
No,
here?
we can't. People flip out when we spoil anything.
But even if we say, here comes some spoilers,
Yeah,
because I want to be
pretty
able to talk about this.
oh God, you put
Spoiler Bros up. If you want.
you're gonna all right. But Kevin's gonna put Spoiler
wait,
Bros
hold on.
up on the screen. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. And this is the thing. Nobody's allowed to freak out. You've had all this time now as we've talked about it. I'm telling you, we are going to spoil it. We will still have a hard set before we do it. But Kevin's putting Spoiler Bros on the screen for the YouTube video. If you're the guy in the van delivering the packages right now, I'm giving you plenty of time to signal, pull to the side of the road, pause, do whatever you need to. YouTube has the time codes. Do we put the time codes in the audio version? I can never remember.
Yes.
We put the time codes in the audio version.
Putting up like a spoilers.
So the next question
Okay,
would
here
be, yeah, he's gonna eventually put it up.
You can't see it.
Oh,
but
it
it's
is up.
There, yeah.
Okay, great. All right, we are
Okay.
officially into spoilers. This is your last chance. Look for the time code for the next question. All right, what do you got? What's your question?
Okay, so as I recall, the end of credits scene
Yeah.
hinted at a couple of things.
Sure.
One was Norman Osborn becoming the Green Goblin, right?
Well, I mean, he's already had the gear and the tech and the gack and all that stuff. More importantly, is Harry being there in the tube with what looks to be a symbiote on him.
Okay, so there were two things that they hinted at. If you know, so two things. Harry, who through the course of the game you're led to believe is
in Europe.
vacationing in Europe,
And then it turns out he's
is
in a
in fact
hospital in
has a
Europe.
terrible disease,
Yeah, yeah.
and Norman has been using all of his Oscorp technology, including things related to radioactive spiders,
Sure.
to cure him.
Yeah.
And so he walks into the lab, but this is the very, 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 very end of the credits when the game goes to black. Norman Osborn walks into his super secret Oscorp lab,
Yeah.
and you realize that there's a couple of things. First of all, you'll notice that Norman is lit entirely in green,
Of course.
which is their way of saying he's going to become the Green Goblin in the next game. And then the other thing is you see Harry kind of hanging in
Floating
all
in
of
his
this
water, yeah.
symbiotic fluid
Yeah.
that looks very Venom-like to me.
And it
right?
shoots out the glass, the hand.
And it kinda shoots out of the
Norman
glass.
puts his hand on
So what I believe we're to expect from Spider-Man 2 is, in terms of major bad guys, is basically let's take on the Osborn family.
Yeah, I'd like to
Norman
think that, yeah.
Osborn as the Green Goblin.
Right.
Because they do hint a little bit that he's going in that direction.
Oh,
during
dude,
the course of the
100%.
game.
He's got the mask on the thing. You put the mask on at one point.
Right.
You're looking, and it talks about the glider up there. Like,
Right,
I think
right,
pumpkin
right.
bombs are there too. Yeah.
And then, like I said, all lit in green in the final shot, which is a deliberate choice. And then Harry as not as Venom, right, but as some kind of
Possibly.
symbiote.
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe it's this Earth's version of Venom.
Yeah, I think that would be a great way to start, right? Like, I think, you know, when Brian was on our spoiler cast, Brian Intihar, director on the game or whatever, creative director on the game, when he was on the spoiler cast and we asked why wasn't the black suit in the game? His statement was like, that is such a profound, powerful story that we didn't want to just give it as something you unlock a costume and there's no story to it.
Right.
So I think that, I do think the Venom, Black Symbiote, all that will be Spider-Man 2 in some way.
Yeah.
And then it's a question of, which is the other Easter egg in this, or not Easter egg, but the other post-credit scene that is what I'm talking about getting referenced in the DLC is the Miles stuff. Where Miles, if you remember,
that Miles now has the powers.
Exactly. Miles hops in the ceiling, you hop on the ceiling, you reveal your identity, him. Like, right? Like, especially coming off now into the Spider-Verse, which has introduced it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be crazy, I don't think, to have you play as Miles in Spider-Man 2.
This is I mean, my God, was 2018 the year of Miles Morales or what?
Right. His new comic just dropped too. Issue 1's good.
What do you think they'll do with Spider-Man 2 in terms of handling, now that Miles Morales and Peter Parker both have powers?
Yeah.
Do you think you'll have the opportunity to play as both or make a choice?
Well, that's the thing is I could see. I don't think it'll be a choice. I think it'll be they're going to stick to, hey, we have a narrative to tell you, and we're going to have you experience
and we'll let you
it.
bounce, because obviously at times you played as Miles, you played as Mary Jane.
Yeah, exactly. I think what it'll be is that you're playing a story. You start as Peter. Miles is Spider-Man. You're teaching him how to be Spider-Man, all these different things. I think early on, you're going to battle one of the Osborns or whatever, probably Harry, I guess, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
But basically, the symbiote's going to be there. You'll get the symbiote. You'll have the black suit. It'll start feeding off you. I think as you go, it starts to change Peter. He starts to get too rough and gets, violent. I think it flips then. You become Miles. You play as Miles now because you have to stop Spider-Man. He's going over the line. You have to stop Peter. He's going over the line. You stop Peter, get the suit off him, and then it flips again and maybe flips back and forth in this final dual boss fight where I'm fighting Green Goblin as Peter, who's put me into this weird situation. Miles is fighting whoever, maybe Harry, maybe something like that to effect.
One of my favorite moments in Spider-Verse, I'm sure you noticed it too, is when they go down into Aunt May's bunker and they've got the Hall of Armor, all the spider suits.
Yeah.
Did you notice that the Insomniac game suit was there?
We knew that from the trailers. Everybody flipped out. Like,
I didn't spot that in the trailers.
Did you see they're doing a comic book based on the game now too?
Yeah.
Like a 6-issue thing, I think, next year.
Yeah. I mean, it's been canonized, right? Didn't Marvel say this is Earth?
Spider-Geddon, it already happened.
Whatever
he already crossed over. Yeah. What a year for Insomniac. Well, knocked that out of the park.
I mean, it was the year of Spider-Man.
It sure was. So anyways, John B, that's what gets referenced in there.
So spoiler bros off?
I think we're kind of done.
Yeah, but we're done. Yeah, that's what gets referenced in there, and that's what.
So they reference.
No, we just took spoiler bros off. Just be careful now.
Okay, so of the two end credit scenes, they reference the first one more than the second.
I don't remember the ones we talked in the order we talked about it. It's the second one. We never get anything referenced to the first one we were talking about.
Okay, got it.
Because you figure from Peter's perspective, he only knows the one.
Got it.
Come back.
All right, cool. We're done. We're back. We're good. We're back now.
We're back into non-spoiler territory.
Hey, Jude. I'm gonna give the floor to Emmett Watkins Jr. Of course, if you've watched Kind of Funny content, you know EWJ pops up quite a bit with all sorts of stuff.
Epically long letter that he wrote.
Well, it's because it's not even a question. He got the new Game Informer, which has an interview in there with THQ Nordic, answering some of the questions, or them answering the questions I'm always answering. Like, how do these people make money? What's their fucking plan? How are they going to do this? I'll turn it over to EWJ. Howdy, Greg and Gary. Since the success of THQ Nordic has been the source of bewilderment to you guys on the show, I thought I'd share some of the things I learned from an interview about them in this month's Game Informer magazine. He points out that this Game Informer magazine, it's a print-only thing right now. It isn't on the website, and so pick up the issue. The article in question, Holding Back the Tide, was written by Matthew Cato and goes into a little further detail about their business practices. Here's some food for thought I got from it, and please cherry pick it well. Also, the full article is worth a read. According to the studio director, whose name I won't... Oh, no, I can get that. Reinhardt Police. While the company is being careful with its moves, they don't have a set plan for success. Quote, we don't have a clear roadmap because this, in the end, is what drives failure. If you are presumed to take decisions at a certain time. Despite many studio acquisitions, Police claims they aren't aiming to build a studio structure. Quote, we want to have internal development studios like Gunfire Games with Darksiders 3 that can play to their strengths, and that means they're not in a system where they are not in control of their own destiny, end quote. According to an interim report showing profits from January through September of this year, sales were up 988% when compared to last year.
That'll happen when you start releasing 988% more games.
This success seems to come from many re-releases that have come out, like Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered Edition, and original smaller scale titles like Bard's Tale 4. Police also said the company likes to choose its battles, purposely opting out of certain highly competitive genres like Battle Royale. But despite this, and the lack of AAA games on the level of God of War, Assassin's Creed, or Red Dead, they managed to stay profitable. To quote Cato directly, quote, the company's releases include system-specific titles like PC's This Is the Police 2, distribution deals, and games from both internal and external partners that also include niche offerings for specific markets or interests. CEO of Superdata, Joost van Doren, is also quoted saying, quote, everyone's always dying or beating the competition. What THQ Nordic is trying to accomplish is mitigate the risk, increase their chances of survival by having a more rational portfolio approach. And finally, Superdata guy does worry a bit if this model is sustainable long term, specifically questioning if having about 20 games / franchises with a fan base only a few thousand people will eventually lead to 50 games with small fan bases, or if it'll eventually lead to the hit-driven structure that the rest of the industry seems to run off of. So that's the stuff I found interesting. Hope to shed a little light on how they're able to do this. They're personally the most fascinating publisher on the market right now, and with games like Darksiders 3 that I'm enjoying right now, and Biomutant that's coming soon, I'm really excited to see what cool ideas from their studios they have. Thanks for reading, Emmett Watkins Jr. Thank you, Emmett Watkins Jr., for doing that. I still want to get these THQ Nordic people in here. I want to have sit down with them.
Yeah. I mean, I would have the same... My first question in any interview with them would be like, what the hell? Like, what the fuck? How, like, what?
What are you doing?
How?
But I mean, it makes sense. They're talking about, like, the idea of not having studio acquisitions makes sense.
Yeah.
The idea of not having a roadmap sounds terrifying, but they also kind of have a roadmap in the way of, like, all right, cool, we're not going to go to Battle Royale, but we're going to, go in there and do something. The lack of AAA is on the level of God of War and do this. I think it's very interesting, quoting Game Informer's Matthew Cato here. The company's releases include system-specific titles like PC, This Is Police 2, distribution deals, and games for both internal and external partners that often include niche offerings. They're a fascinating company.
I think I like it, and I think part of the reason, it's our problem, it's not their problem. They're doing something a little bit different.
Oh, yeah,
there's more than one way to make a buck. But I think why it gets confusing for us is because we don't always recognize that fact in this industry. There are... Most of the industry has kind of bifurcated into these two somewhat calcified business models of like AAA, just put out a handful of big hits every year, or the indie model, which is, keep things kind of lean and hungry and spend a little to make a lot, hopefully if you have a hit. But if you don't have a hit, it doesn't kill the company because you didn't spend that much money developing it. There's a couple of different business models out there. And what THQ Nordic is doing doesn't conform to any of them. So it's confusing to us.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it can't work.
It's disruptive. They're disrupting the marketplace.
That's right.
You like that?
There's some disruption happening.
Good for them. I want to talk about disruption some more with you, Gary Whitta.
I'm sorry, you want to talk about what?
More disruption for you.
Oh, okay.
Tyson Williams writes in. Before I do this, he's jumping off of a conversation we had yesterday, 2 days ago, about Street Fighter having in-game ads. Did you see this or hear about this?
No, what happened?
Street Fighter 5 put out a new patch update, right?
Okay.
In the background, they have like screens that can run advertisements. Right now, they're running things for like Capcom Cup. But they leave the door open. Maybe it'll be whatever one day. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Doritos.
also, there was that, yeah. And then there was another one. And then there was also like a patch on some of the outfits. Now, the thing is, you can opt out of this. You can go into your settings and turn it off.
Oh, okay.
If you stay in, you're rewarded with more of the in-game fight currency, fight money, or whatever they call it.
Okay.
Like at the end, you get like a bonus multiplier for leaving the ads on. But you can turn it off and then just get the normal game experience, right? We talked about it here. I think it was me and Andrea. And it was basically like, maybe it was me and Jared. It doesn't matter. I was talking to somebody. And the idea basically was just like, oh, okay. Like, oh, maybe it was Steve. That's why it's weird. On Monday. Yeah. And it was... oh, okay, cool. Like, whatever. It's cool. You can opt out of it. People are going to get mad about change altogether. Yada, yada. But we were very much like, seems like they're doing it right. People got to make money. Tyson Williams took issue with that. Okay. Tyson writes in a very respectful manner and says, hi, Greg and Gary. Happy Christmas to you both and the rest of Kinda Funny. My question is this. Why are we allowing publishers to eke out as much money from us as possible? I've heard many journalists and internet personalities, including you guys at Kinda Funny, talk about the rising cost of game development and how publishers need to make their money back somehow. There's been talk of raising the standard price of games from $60. It's been the standard excuse given for why loot boxes are so prevalent, along with season passes, skins, premium currency, and more besides. My question is why? Why is this not enough? And I should point out that Tyson went into very paragraphs and paragraphs of like, this game sold this many copies, and at this thing, it made this much money, and then and it was just like, I don't think that's needed for the argument, so I took it out. My question is why? Why is this not enough? Why are we expected to finance greed? We've been told time after time that if loot boxes or equivalent disappear, somehow something else will take their places, as companies have to make their money back somewhere. And I think it's ridiculous. Would love to hear your thoughts. Belated congratulations on the showcase. It was awesome. Lots of love. Tyson from Wales in the UK.
Okay.
Do you have a problem, first off, and it's a bunch of things we're talking about right now.
Yeah, this seems to be talking about not just the Street Fighter thing, but a wider issue.
Exactly. Capcom doing that, putting the stuff in there with the money and whatnot. Do you care? Do you think that's the right way to do it? Is that a bad way?
I think that's harmless.
Yeah.
Doesn't bother me at all.
It's a slippery slope, right? That's where it gets scary.
Yeah,
we see that stuff happen.
I haven't seen it, but I know enough about Street Fighter to close my eyes and kind of imagine what that looks like. You know, a lot of these arenas in fighting games, Street Fighter, have billboards and places to put ads, and you know they usually put fake stuff up there.
Yeah.
I've been driving around racing games in EA games long enough now to know that Burnout has had real ads for a long time.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me at all. It's no different than walking down a street in the real world. You're subjected to ads everywhere.
Sure.
You know, you just kind of either filter it out or just accept it as part of your reality. It's not that big a deal. Look, the reality is games have never been more expensive to make. You know me. I'm not a corporate fanboy.
Not at all. You made your Gettysburg Address here on your second
I've made
show.
my rants against loot boxes and other predatory practices in the past. But in this case, I think in general, there's nothing wrong with companies as long as they do it in a way that is harmless. And I would use the Street Fighter example as a way that is harmless.
Sure.
And again, giving you the option to A, opt out, and B, be rewarded if you choose not to opt out.
Yeah.
I think that's actually pretty consumer friendly, and I applaud them for that. I like that. So as long as it's in that area, and we're not talking about getting into gambling, loot boxes, and other things that are dodgy. I mean, would you rather games cost $99 at retail? Because that would be the alternative.
Sure.
Games have been $60. Games went to $50 to $60 when we went. Not to this last generation, but the previous one, when we went PS3, Xbox 360, that's when games went from 50 to 60. And people can tell me I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, they'll they can write in.
But and don't bring up the yes, there were games that were more expensive.
But
individual.
The average price of a AAA video game has been $60 now for
a while,
10 years.
Yeah.
So it hasn't even gone up with the cost of inflation. But
that's my thing. Like dialing it back to Tyson's question, he says, damn it, he has a loaded one of why isn't this enough? Why are we expected to finance greed? I don't think that's what you're expected to do. This is a multi-layered thing, and of course, there's examples of people doing it the right way, people doing it the wrong way, and all these different things. But at the base level for me of this is, people make your video games. Human beings make your video games that need 401ks, that need health plans, that need to pay their rent, their mortgage, to put their kids to college, do braces
bigger and bigger
stuff.
Teams to make these games now as they become more and more ambitious.
And the problem is you get more and more ambitious games and they get bigger and bigger. The development cycle gets longer. And that's the other thing I think people lose sight of is that I understand it sounds like, oh my God, they're nickel and diming me for the skin, this season pass, whatever. Of course, remember, they're trying to keep you engaged to keep playing the game over a longer period of time to continue a revenue stream so that it isn't that release date in the 3 months before for pre-orders and the 3 months after for holidays or whatever is when they get a dump of money and then get no more money. Because that's how it used to be, right? You sell the game, you get all this cash, and then you have to take that cash and lay off a huge portion of your workforce to then ramp up on the next project, to then make the next game and spend the money you just made to do that to keep it all running. Like, it's a system where they're laying the tracks as they go. Every video game company.
I don't have a problem with I think that the problem that I have with Tyson's letter here is he seems to have a problem with the general principle of making money. Companies making money.
Sure.
It's not bad for companies to make money. If they don't make money, you ain't going to be playing any more games because they're going to stop making. If there's no money to be made in making video games, guess what? Companies will stop making video games. They'll go do something else.
Exactly.
And you will have to find something else to amuse yourself with because video games won't exist anymore. So we don't want that to happen. And so the question is less to do with companies making money, good or bad. It's not that. It's not that broad.
Yeah.
It's how do they choose to make the money.
Yeah.
So I think season passes, quality deals, substantial DLC. Like we paid for the Assassin's Creed Odyssey DLC, and we're happy to do so. I'm going to pay for the Spider-Man DLC, and we'll be happy to do so because I love those games, and I want more of them. I will occasionally buy a skin or a little thing if it's something that I want. There's nothing wrong with offering it to me and going, do you want this? No? Yes? Maybe? It's up to you. Give me the choice. That's fine.
And that's the thing, too, about it, right? Is I feel like, especially with the titles we're kicking around right now, which, of course, are, look at these amazing games. They're fantastic. I can't believe it. Yada, 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 yada. But, like, Lee's been playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey for more than 150 hours, right?
170, I'm told.
And no one required her to buy the Helix credits to go do the thing. You didn't really need that XP booster. You could get it. There's so much content in that game already. Do we want to knock the fact that, not to mention, think of it this way too, they're trying to keep all those people employed. They're trying to then keep their servers online so that they can do the integrations they already have and all these different things. Like, that all costs money, especially when you're talking about a multiplayer game. That's the other thing too, of like server costs and this. Even if the game ships and it's done, like, if you still want to keep playing it and it's not peer-to-peer, there's a cost there. Like Assassin's Creed and Spider-Man, and they gave you all these awesome things for your price tag, and now they're trying to give you more. Like, there's a counter argument, of course, of like God of War this year, which is my favorite game possibly, I think, of all time, and my game of the year for sure, is a complete package. Boom, there's the game. There was no, hey, guess what? We're putting out episodic DLC. There's this thing, there's that thing. It was just like, here's everything for $60. It's done, which is great and awesome and works really well for them. But I think that's how I want that game to be. But I do want more from Spider-Man. I do like jumping back into Spider-Man. I do like turning back Assassin's Creed, a game I put 90 hours into. I love jumping back in when these episodes drop to be like, all right, cool. I put all this time in. Think of it this way. How many games did we play growing up on, whatever console, PC, if you're, unprivileged? You're doing all these different things. You played them, and then at the last thing, you get the ultimate sword, you get the ultimate armor, you do it. Like, think of Infamous, Second Son. You do all that, and then you get the concrete power, and you're like, this is really cool. And then it was just like, all right, well, I've done everything. Like, this is worth, what am I gonna do for 15 minutes, run around and do nothing? Like, I like the idea of having another reason to come back to a game I love and jump back in.
The old model, Greg, I would suggest, the old model of, we sell you a game for $60, you get 50, 60 hours out of it, you're very happy, then you put it on a shelf, onto the next game. Yeah. That's going away.
Yeah.
These games are now being built. Think of every big game that came out. God of War is an outlier because that's a single player close up experience. I wouldn't be surprised though. You've got Corey coming in later.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do some story based DLC. But look at all the big games that are coming out or that have come out. Red Dead has a monetizable back end.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed, they all have monetizable back end. So you will occasionally still see outliers where that it's $60 and you're done and they'll never ask you for another penny. But that's going to become, I think that's going to become rarer and rarer. I think what's going to happen is, and look at what's happening with Assassin's Creed. So we had Origins last year, Odyssey this year.
Nothing
next year. They're just piling more effort into Odyssey rather than giving you an all new game, because it would be tremendously expensive to build it. Let's say they go to ancient Rome this time, or God knows where they go somewhere else, or World War I, and whatever it is that they do, they go somewhere else in the Animus. Very, very expensive to build a whole new world from scratch. More cost effective to just bolt more content onto the game they've already built, which people are crying out for because they love those games.
And that's the other question too. And like, this is multifaceted and could be a show to itself. But I also find developers, all right, cool, we put out this game we're really proud of. We want to keep working on it. We want to give you more content. I find that much more commendable than the old way of, okay, cool, we put out a game this year and then next year there'll be another game and next year and I'm not saying there aren't year-to-year sequels that are better. Obviously, Call of Duty changes studios, and so does Assassin's Creed. They pass around. But I'd rather them see it. Yeah, we're going to put the game out, figure out what works, make it better. Those ideas get moved into the next game 2 years from now. We move on, we do all these different things. And like, what I think is, I jumped off earlier with this, right? It's disruption. This is I understand people, oh my God, you want more money. Oh my God, I hate this. And when we talk about, when somebody talks about it, oh, you're a corporate apologist, it's different. It's so different. We're in an age right now where gaming and the way you sell games and make games is changing. So we have to learn hard lessons and watch companies fall on their face and sit there and be watchdogs and go, oh, that's a shitty way to do it. But there's ways to do it correctly in a way that actually works for it. And I think Tyson, and I can't speak for you, Tyson, but I'm not trying to speak for anybody who says this is wrong, right? in a lot of ways, isn't this what we do as Kind of Funny and what a lot of people do with their businesses, right? Like, we are windowing content where you can get it earlier on Patreon, or you can do this, or there's an exclusive pre-show there.
Pay.
Yeah, and like we give you the free version. Now, the free version, of course, would be, in the games analogy I'm using, would be something you paid $60 for. But I hope that the Gamescast you get on Monday free on YouTube or on a podcast service, it feels content complete to you, where you're like, oh, but there's bonus stuff that I can give you more money for because I appreciate this product so much. That's how I hope it works. And it's not apples to apples at all, but it's in the same ballpark, I feel. Yeah,
like I said, I don't have a problem with companies making money. It's how they choose to do it. Loot boxes, gambling, predatory type stuff like that we've talked about many times before, bad. Innocuous ads that you can opt out of in the background of Street Fighter, not so bad.
Good call.
There you go. It's all about nuance, Greg.
It is. You're the king of nuance, I
try not to paint with a broad brush.
No, you're in there like Bob Ross. You know, very tiny brushes, getting everything done.
That's right.
It's time to squad up. This is where one of you writes into me. At kindoffunny.com/KFGD. Give me your name, username, platform choice, and why you need help in a video game. I read it here. The best friends come and find you, and everybody plays games together. Today, Justin needs help on PC. He's either using Asian or US servers. His BattleNet ID is, this will be in the description, Crimson.
Take a sip of water. Yeah, there you go.
Chrism. I'm not saying it wrong. King. Because it's not Crimson. Or is that Crimson? Is that how you spell Crimson? No, that's not how you spell Crimson, is it?
I thought so.
C-R-I?
Crimson, yeah.
Oh man, that's a broken brain to me. That doesn't make any sense.
Crimson King. Struggling with that? It just says Crimson King.
Yeah, I looked at that, I'm like, it's something weird. It doesn't look right. Crimson King 721 #11826. Hello, KFGD crew. I've been listening to your show only since E3 of this year, when I discovered you guys on Twitch reacting to a conference. However, your shows have quickly become part of my everyday routine. I am in the US Air Force and I'm currently stationed at Yokota Air Base in Japan, so finding other English-speaking teammates can be very difficult. I also sometimes use a VPN to play in the States as well, but there usually aren't too many people on that time zone. Or on that time, yeah, that's fine. I'm looking to play PC, sorry Greg, Overwatch players that either live in Asia or play at weird hours in the States. Again, he gives his BattleNet ID that broke my brain. I am 2300-ish, Rain/Anna main. I don't know, you dorks.
Ryan.
Looking.
It's a Reinhardt.
What a bunch of dorks playing this over.
You know this game's popular on consoles as well.
Is it Overwatch?
Overwatch, yeah.
How do you spell that?
Yeah, is it? What am I doing in it? Is it like a city builder?
Are you kidding me right now?
Yeah, of course I'm kidding you. Looking for groups.
Nailed
you. He got me. I don't know. Honestly, his level of PC ignorance he knows no bounds. So I can never know when he's yanking my chain.
Looking for groups to play mostly competitive mode with, although I am not opposed to playing arcade and grabbing free loot boxes. I haven't heard any chicken comments in a while, so I guess I won't beat a dead chicken. Thanks, you guys, for making awesome content. Shout out to my man, Cool Greg. Crimson King 721 #11826. Gary.
All right.
We ask people watching live on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames to go to kindoffunny.com/you're wrong and tell us what we screw up as we screw it up, so we can set the record straight for everybody watching later on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. Let's see what we got wrong today. Ding, 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 ding. Kebab says, mine or you're wrong. Burnout Paradise Remastered had no in-game ads, as the deals for them had expired years prior, as well as the original game's final patch swapped out the real ads for numerous fake ones, like Crash Breakers laxatives.
Yeah, but the original the first time around had ads.
I don't understand. We're old. You understand that? We're old people. Zaire says, games have gone, I think is what he's saying, $60 between PS2 to PS3 in America. However, if you live someone like Australia, have prices increases to about $75 US today. Zaire, we got to talk about your grammar on these things.
Yeah, I didn't understand a word of that.
He's saying that we were correct. It was the PS2 to PS3 in America where things shot up to $60. But Australia, it's been bad forever.
Australia's always been gouged on prices.
Well, it's because they use koalas as currency. And then people are just saying good stuff. But you can't just send a nice message into You're Wrong. You're Wrong has a very specific purpose. Okay?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
You got to tell us that we're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And back it up.
If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Kinda Funny Games Daily, the final Widow Wednesday of 2018. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can be part of the show, kindafunny.com/KFGD. You can watch it live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, where you can give us that Amazon Prime/Twitch Prime subscription. You can also watch it later on youtube.com/kindafunnygames and listen on podcast services around the globe. If you want to give us a Christmas gift, head over to patreon.com/kindafunnygames. Give us a buck or two saying we did a good job. We'd appreciate it. Tomorrow it's... No, I didn't update that correctly. Tomorrow is Tim. Friday is Jared. I'm tired, Gary.
Greg, if I may,
Yeah.
just like to take a moment to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
And happy holidays. And to all the best friends out there, I hope you all have a happy holiday and nice Christmas presents and just fun times, and drink eggnog and just have a good time. And I love Christmas so much, and I just want everyone to have a good time. And I want to make sure all the best friends knew, from me to you, have a happy holiday.
Cut that out at the end. That's like your video Christmas card. Just email it to everybody.
So you don't have to do one.
I didn't get one. Here you go. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Merry Christmas.